So we want to create a freeform shape and fill this up with text and color and give it a stroke. So what I'll use is my Bezier text tool, which is here. Alright, now as a rule, before I create the car, when you click, you're gonna get corner points. When you click and drag, you're gonna get curved points. Now how can you switch from curved to non-curved? You see here, when you click on the point, you can move it. First of all, when you click on a handle, you can move it. Now when you press Alt and click on a point, you delete it. If you press Alt and click on a handle, you delete that handle. So now this point becomes a corner point. I repeat, if you press Alt and click on a point, you delete the point. If you press Alt and click on a handle, you delete the handle. If you want to make it corner from both sides, you delete them by pressing Alt on both handles. And then you can move the point again. So I'll delete these and I'll start over. Now, well, I'm going to work with the Bezier tool, but you also have the Freeform tool where you can actually draw the car like this or any other form. So in case you are creating a heart, for example, you can go like this. Now it's not very smooth now, but Quark will make it as smooth as possible. So here I can remove the point, just the one point, just to get it right, and then you can go like this. So you see that it does make your life easier by creating these nice shapes for you. But for now, back to the Bezier. So click, 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 click. Here I'm gonna drag for a curve and then click. I can change this later if I don't like it. Click. Maybe add some backlights. Click, click, and drag for the wheels. Click, drag, click, 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 and finish here. It doesn't look like a car, so I can go and fix my points one by one. You can press Control to deselect. Control click to deselect the whole thing in case you want to make a selection again. So anyway, here I can press Alt to remove that. So once I have it, let's say like this, I want to add the wheels. So Control click to deselect, Control click outside. For the wheel, I can use, if I like, my oval tool, which is here. So I can go like this and move it over there. I can select this one and move the point again. And again, another oval for this side here. Now, the first thing that I want to do is give them a color. So if I selected here, box color is set to nothing. So I can either select a color or I can choose new and select a color. So I'm going to select something like this, an ochre color. Now how do I assign a stroke? Yeah, or right click modify. So here we have the box that we just changed the color of from here. These are the positions, X, Y, width and height. Angle, I didn't rotate. If I set it to 45 and press apply, it will rotate. It's something that I don't want to do now. So regain 0. That's the color that I chose. The shading, we talked about it before. It's the intensity of that color. It's not the opacity. I'll talk about the difference between shade and opacity in a second. And the blend is whether you want to fill it with a gradient or not. It's like the gradient tool in Photoshop. So if I choose linear blend and apply, it's gonna blend this color with that one here. So if I choose, let's say, magenta and apply, I will get this. Yeah, this is a linear blend, and I'll tell you how to control it. It's not as controllable as in Photoshop. Yeah, you can change the angle if you like and apply this. But for now, I don't want to use any blend, so I'm going to choose solid so that I fill it with just one color. Now here, the frame is what I want. That's a preview of the frame, but I have 0 points so far, so I have no frame. I'm going to set it to 3 and apply, so I have 3 points. But the nice thing is that I have many things to choose from. If I choose dots, I will have dots. And you're going to see these things on your magazines around images. I'm going to run over them one by one to see what they give you. And so forth. So what I will do is use now a regular solid line with a 3-point thickness. And that's the color here. I'm going to leave it set to, maybe I'll decrease the shading a little bit, see what it looks like. Yeah, maybe 75. That will give me a gray color. Alright, so now that I have this, I need to fill this up with small, tiny text because I still want to color the text. So I go to my content tool, click here. I'll set the size of the text to 7 or 6 points, let's say. So to be really small. And utilities and jabber. And that's what I would get. Now I use the small text because I can select now this line, for example, and make it bold, right? And maybe increase the size for that one. Just so that my text has some form. So I can use the text to create, for example, I don't know, a door. But I would have to select these line by line and adjust them. It's just there if you want to adjust the typography inside your graphic. Now, here, I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm going to fill it up with a gray color. So if I click here, that's the box color. I'm going to choose new, and I want to get a gray color. Now with the CMYK color model, I cannot easily get gray. To get gray easily, I'm going to choose HSB, which stands for hue, saturation, and brightness. If you decrease the saturation to 0, you will get a gray color. So whatever you do, you set the saturation to 0. Now to make it brighter, you increase the brightness, and to make it darker, you decrease the brightness. So remember, I chose the model to be HSB, which stands for hue, which is the color, saturation, the intensity of the color, and the brightness to make it bright or dark. So I'll press OK. Again, I want to give it a stroke. So 3, and the shading is 75. But the text color, I'm going to choose it from here. It's going to be white, and the size is also 6. And jabber. And the same thing goes for that one. So I'm going to actually duplicate the first one. I'll select this, Control D, place it here, and maybe scale it up. Now when I scale it up, the text is less, so I can just copy this, Control C, and paste over. Now I get this, I repeat, the overflow, meaning that you can't fit all the text here. It doesn't matter for us now. I'll see how to solve this problem later today. Now once I'm happy with this, I'm gonna put this over here. Control D to create a duplicate, place it down. For this one, I'll select and I'll change the color. But now I want them to be one entity every car. So I'll select like this, and I'll choose item and group, and I'll select that and choose item and group. So now I can move the whole car as one group, which is a good thing for me. How can I scale it up and down? If I go like this, I can scale it, but it loses proportion. If I press shift, it becomes a square. What I have to press is shift and alt to scale while retaining the proportion. Remember this, because shift will make it a square, and alt by itself is used to pan around, but shift and alt would make you scale it in proportion. So that's how you'd create typography inside colored shapes.